You saw a gain of about 2.9% or thereabouts in trade yesterday for Reliance Industries. It's contributing about half of the gains for the Nifty 50 today. And this is something that a few people are talking about. Has Reliance Industries, one of the largest, second largest weightage on the Nifty 50, made a bottom? And what does that mean for the benchmark as a whole? Is it heading higher? HDFC Bank, by the way, also contributing to the gains today. Macquarie, after 4 years, is positive on the stock, and so that is, I'm talking about Reliance Industries, and so that bodes well, not just for the benchmark, but also for Reliance Industries, up about 2.6% as we speak. I'm sure a few of you are going to have questions on that as well. The broader markets as well doing reasonably well. You have a lot of names that are reacting to earnings, so not earnings, sorry, orders. So you have, in fact, Brigade, that has got a new project up and running in Chennai, which was up and about. And you have a few more, which I'm going to toss to Mahima to tell you about. Mahima, morning.
Morning. So Kalpataru Projects is one of them who's won a new order of around 2,300 crores, and the stock is up. Let's pull up the stock. It's up by 3.5%. RVNL is another counter which has received a letter of acceptance of around 156 odd crores. The stock is up 2.8%. Some other counters that are buzzing on the back of news flow. Let's pull up Biocon and see what it's doing. Let's also pull up something like Jindal Stainless to see how that counter is faring. And also something like a Quest Corp that has received NCLT approval for the demerger of various businesses. The stock is up 3% as we speak. So all of these counters on the back of news flow. Also Hexaware Tech that came out with its earnings numbers today. Let's pull up that counter and see how that is kind of faring into it. It's down by about 4.3 odd %. So all of these counters on the back of earnings as well as news flow post-market hours.
All right. So I'm sure you've got questions about quite a few of these stocks. So like I said, you can send a message to us on the number that's on the top of the screen, or you can call us, as Dheeraj from Hyderabad has done. But before I go to you, Dheeraj, let me introduce the experts that are going to answer your question. We've got Vineet Bolinjkar, who's the head of research at Ventura Securities, as well as Jatin Gedia, who's the technical analyst at Sharekhan by Mirai Asset. Both of you, thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking the time, and happy Friday to you. Good morning to you as well. Dheeraj, I'm coming to you first. What is the question that you have today? And thanks so much for calling us.
Good morning, sir. My query is regarding Adani Green.
Okay.
I'm holding 400 shares of Adani Green at 946 rupees.
All right.
So, is it a good time to accumulate more?
Okay. And what is the time horizon that you have, Dheeraj?
For 6 months, sir.
Okay. Jatin, I'm coming to you on the charts. The stock is currently trading lower by about a percent or so, 838. So it's below the buy price. What are the prospects on the upside for 6 months?
Yeah, see, from a short-term perspective, we are expecting the current move or the counter trend rally to continue towards 940 to 960 on the upside. So on the daily charts, we are looking at a trend reversal. So yes, there is a potential upside of around 10 to 12 odd percent even from current levels. So I think he should continue to hold on to his investment. On the downside, he should keep a stop loss of 800 for his holdings, and on the upside, 960 to 980 are the levels that we are expecting from a 6 month kind of a perspective.
All right. Standard disclaimer, Adani Green is owned by Adani Group of Companies, and NDTV Profit is also a part of a group of Adani companies. Moving on to the next query, Reliance Power is the counter that we are talking about. Do we have the name of the, I don't think, Jairam, okay. Jairam is holding about 6,000 odd shares of Reliance Power at an average price of 41. He's currently incurring a loss of 29,000 odd rupees because the stock is currently trading at 36 at rupees 36. He wants to know when will it reach this level again in the current market. So 41 is the buying price. He wants to know when will it reach the 41 mark. Jatin, I'll again come to you. What are the charts saying for Reliance Power?
See, in the case of Reliance Power, on the weekly charts, a very bullish candlestick pattern is developing. So I think there is a scope for more upside in the case of Reliance Power towards the level of 46 to 48 levels. So I think it will be difficult for me to give an exact time frame or the exact time period by when it will reach 41. But what I can see on the price front is that it's forming a bullish pattern. So the up move is likely to continue. So he should hold on. We should suggest a stop loss of 33 for his investment in Reliance Power. So in case 33 is breached on the downside, then we should exit. Otherwise, we are expecting levels of 46 to 48 on the upside.
All right, so that's the view with respect to Reliance Power. Next caller, Ashok from Ahmedabad is calling in. Ashok, a very good morning to you. How can we help you?
Yeah, I have asked question. I want to purchase Taril or Zodiac Energy. Which one is better for me?
Okay, got your question. Vineet, I'll come to you. While Transformers and Rectifiers is a 12,000 crore market cap company, Zodiac Energy on the other side is a 600 crore market cap company. Both of them are into manufacturing of rectifiers and transformers, but Zodiac is more towards the solar side of things. What's your view and which one should you choose?
So I think Taril, in spite of all the bullish prospects, is completely, in our opinion, overvalued. And, we see very little upside gains from here. I know the business prospects are very good, but the, price is capturing all that. So I have a kind of a hold or a, book profit kind of on this stock. As far as Zodiac Energy is concerned, I do not follow that stock too much. So difficult for me to give an opinion on that.
Okay, fair point. All right, so sell on rise kind of an approach is something that you should do with transformers and rectifiers. The stock has bounced back, I think, if I'm not mistaken, from the low point that it has hit in the recent past. Power Grid Corporation of India is the name of the counter that we're talking about, and John is writing in from Puducherry. He's bought at an average price of 153.6, and he's wondering whether to add more the current price for the long term. So he's making a profit at this point, Vineet. Would you suggest that he adds more based on the fundamentals?
I think, you should not get into the market at this point in time in this stock. Wait for the, we are expecting a further correction in the market. And one should be looking to buy that dip if you are looking to buy the stock. So I think around the recent bottoms of 250 or maybe a little lower would be a great point to get an entry into the stock.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm guessing that you're referring to your expectation that there will be selling ahead of the end of the financial year where people are going to look to book their losses, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we've got the next caller, Raj, who's writing in from, or rather he's calling from Kolkata. Hi, Raj. Good morning. How can we help you today?
Hey, hi, everybody. Good morning. So I wanted to invest on this dip around 1 lakh of rupees in the pharmaceutical sector. So I was looking at the fundamentals between Divi's Lab and Sun Pharma.
Okay.
So I wanted to view like which one would be better, or if you can suggest any other pharma company for me to buy.
Okay. So you've got a long-term view?
Yeah, fairly long term.
Okay, fine. All right. So Vineet, maybe not, and I take your point entirely, but between these two companies or another name, the pharma pack, we've been looking at CDMO companies and saying that they're relatively better off than the rest. Would you pick between Divi's or Sun Pharma, or would you pick a third stock?
No, I'll pick a Divi's. I think they understand complex chemistry very well. They have a very strong portfolio of CDMO. And I expect this stock to do exceedingly well going ahead.
All right, so that's the view with respect to Divi's Labs. In fact, there was an interesting Goldman Sachs note that came out on the pharma stocks, which had mentioned 4 stocks. One being that if tariffs get imposed, Torrent Pharma is something that will be least impacted because it has a domestic play. In the CRDMO space, they've chosen Syngene as well as Newland Labs. And lastly, they had chosen Aurobindo Pharma because in terms of valuation, it looks attractive. And the earnings for Aurobindo Pharma has remained resilient. So these were the reasons that they had stayed in the
And there's also an MK note this morning or last evening on Sun Pharmaceuticals, which was quite interesting. And we will get you more details on that through the day. But essentially, they're talking about the resilience of this company on account of its Ranbaxy portfolio and the fact that some of these products are doing well for them at this current juncture. Basically trying to justify and explain why the domestic revenues for this company have been more resilient than the others.
Right, got it. The next counter that we're talking about is Nazara Technology. So Srini from Hyderabad had purchased Nazara Technologies 4 years back, and in between there was a stock split also for the counter. The average buying price for her is 794 and the quantity is 127. She wants to know that she's still at a profit of around 18%. She's sitting on a profit of almost 18,000 odd rupees. Should she hold or exit? What's the view like, Jatin, on the charts? Should she keep holding? Is there an upside on the charts that are looking favorable?
Yes. See, in the case of Nazara Technologies, the stock has been consolidating in the range of 1100 to 900 since the month of August last year. So it's a decent 6 to 7 month kind of a consolidation phase. And now we are expecting a move towards the 1100 mark, that is the upper end of this range. So yes, current levels are good levels to even add more because it's at a crucial support level, and on the upside we are expecting 1100 from a short-term perspective.
All right, so that's the view with respect to Nazara Technology, and a buy is the view coming in from Jatin. Tarun is our next caller calling in from Maharashtra. Tarun, a very good morning to you. How can we help you?
Ma'am, I buy 400 shares of Parag Milk.
Okay.
At the rate of 250.
Okay.
So I would like to know, shall I quit or shall I wait for some time? Because now it is, I think, 160 or something. The rate is 160.
Okay, so you saw the charts when you bought Parag Milk, Tarun?
No, I didn't saw the chart actually. From the friend circle, I came to know about this.
Okay, all right, got your point. Vineet, I'll come to you. If you have a view on Parag Milk, what's the view like?
So I think, there are better companies out there. Heritage Food is very, very good stock to look at. And if you want to stay within the same, sector, then I think Heritage Foods is a far better stock to own than Parag Milk Foods.
All right, let's take the next one. This one's also coming your way, Vineet. We've been talking about the metal companies and we've been talking about steel in particular in the recent past. And we've got Jaishekhar who's writing in from Chennai and who's bought Tata Steel at a price of 153 rupees and planning to hold for the long term, 5 years or more. Can it be accumulated at the current level? Now, this is a stock that is relatively underperformed, and if I look at this versus JSW Steel over the last several years, right? So if you're looking for a very long term, what would you do? And are you sanguine on everything that you're hearing in the metal pack and particularly on steel? Of course, this conversation on safeguard duties, there's also an expectation that it might take a while before this comes through.
Whenever, you have a macro event like liquidity being pulled out, markets collapsing, we've seen these stocks do relatively well. Between the, the counters of metal, that is copper, aluminum, and steel, I think they all have their own sweet spots. But I understand, and it is my gut feel that Tata Steel would do rather well, because I believe that, the worst for the company from its own perspective is also over, and things are looking much brighter. It is significantly undervalued compared to the other stocks, and I expect this along with SAIL to do very well.
Okay, interesting. All right. So valuation comfort on Tata Steel is allowing or causing Vineet to be more bullish on it. We've got Pramod calling us from Hyderabad. Hi Pramod, good morning. How can we help you today?
Hey Alex, good morning.
Good morning.
So thank you for the show, first of all, for you and Mahima bringing all the panelists.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah. So my question is regarding Suzlon. So I had 1,000 shares of Suzlon with an average price of 62. So I just wanted to know the long-term view, basically.
Okay, all right. And so you held, so I'm assuming that you bought it a while back, you saw the price appreciation and you've held on despite the price fall, right?
Yeah. So, long story short, like I entered the market at 25,000 when Nifty is at 25,000, and happy that I'm seeing the downfall so that I don't panic next time.
Okay, all right. Well put, Pramod, well put. All right, Vineet, he's bought at levels of 62,000 shares, and there's so much that has been spoken about. The company is very bullish about the wind energy space, but there are still headwinds that, and no pun intended, but there are still headwinds for acquisition of land or availability of land with regard to wind energy, right? So would you say that holding on to 62 rupees Suzlon is a good move for the long term?
Actually, we have a sell note on the stock at 70 with a profit target about 48. We think that 48 is a fair value. And if you really want to make money on this stock, you should be buying it lower than 48 to, make money off it. That is a 2-year target. So I would not advise entering this stock at the current level. If you're holding, you're sitting on a slight loss. I think you could book out of it and get into some other stocks like Adani Green, which offers a lot of upside potential than Suzlon from current levels.
Okay, so that's the view with respect to Suzlon, and Vineet prefers Adani Green over Suzlon is what he's saying. The next counter that we're talking about is Brigade Enterprises. Meenu from Trivandrum is looking for a view on this particular counter. Vineet, I'll again come to you. Brigade is buzzing today on the back of its new premium residential launch in Chennai, where the revenue potential is roughly 1700 odd crores, and it has over 11.87 million square feet already launched, which is in pipeline right now. So pipeline looking strong for Brigade. What's the outlook like?
So, I have a more of a macro view which is related to the US markets, is that if the US markets are going to take a hit, H1B visas go, gold visas come in. And, if the dollar were to behave the way it is doing, I think IT jobs and IT increments could come in for a little bit of a puncture. And given this kind of view, Brigade, which operates in these markets, which are more based in, the IT capital of Bangalore and other vicinity, I think I would not want to buy these stocks at current levels. So any realistic play with the exposure to, back office in India like Bangalore, Pune, and up north in Gurgaon, I think those real estate stocks should generally be avoided.
All right, so that's the view with respect to Brigade Enterprises. And our next caller, V. Murli from Bengaluru, is calling in. A very good morning to you, Mr. Murli. How can we help you?
Good morning. Thank you for taking up my query.
Go ahead with your query.
Yeah. I want to invest about 3 lakhs from at least 1 year point of view.
Okay.
Whether I should buy a chalet hotels or Apijay Surendra Park, where the hotel additions is getting doubled in the next 2 years.
Okay. Got your point.
I want a fundamental view.
Okay, you want a fundamental view. Got your point, Mr. Murli. Vineet, I'll again come back to you. He wants to know whether he should invest 3 lakhs in a chalet or a Apijay Sundar Park. But if on a hotel sector you have a view, if not these two, which counter would you want to invest in?
So, we like both these stocks. But I think Surendra Park has got more upside potential than chalet. But on the other hand, you must understand that chalet, almost, 1/3 of his revenue comes from a single property, which is the Calcutta one. And it's 100 crore revenue that they do. And they're very fast, building out. So, you're going to see some kind of numbers keep coming down. Performance numbers will keep coming down. But they've got a very strong pipeline of capex, and that should help it. So you should have a slightly longer term view as far as owning Apijay is concerned. But there's definitely a chance to get 70-80% kind of returns on this stock.
Okay, all right. So there you go. It's a positive view on both of them, but Apijay more valuation comfort. Sula is the name of the counter we're talking about next, and I'm coming to you, Jatin, on this one. And we've got Ramana from Visakhapatnam, who's bought it at levels of 497. So very elevated levels, and has been holding for 8 months. Is it a hold or sell in your opinion?
I think the current pullback that we have seen since last 3 to 4 trading sessions, I think he should consider to exit his position, considering that the overall short-term trend is negative, and I think the stock is showing very little signs of a trend reversal at this point of time. So this pullback that we have seen should be considered as an exit opportunity.
So that's the view with respect to Sula. In fact, even in Q3, the performance of the company was not up to the mark. In terms of their own brands, the revenue grew hardly by 1%. Elite and Premium, which used to grow in double digits, grew just by around 5.6%. But wine tourism is something that's doing good for them, although management is very positive on the future outlook. That's with regards to Sula Vineyards. But the next counter is Siemens. Arun from Gurgaon wants to know whether he can buy Siemens at the current levels. Jatin, I'll stick with you. What are the charts saying for Siemens?
See, in the case of Siemens, we believe that yes, there has been a trend reversal. So current levels are good enough levels to enter for a short-term kind of a trade. We are expecting levels of 5,600 in the case of Siemens. You should keep a stop loss of 4,950 for this long trade. It's a very short 1 to 2 week kind of a trade. Therein we'll have to again reassess the situation. However, the current rally that has started from around 4,600 odd levels has further upside till the levels of 5,400, 5,450 from a short-term perspective.
Okay. Venkat is calling us from Chennai, I believe. And hi, Venkat. How can we help you today? Venkat, go ahead if you can hear me.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just have around 6,000 shares of IDFC Bank,
Okay.
First Bank,
Okay.
bought at 70.
Okay.
I just want to know whether I can add some more at this price.
Okay. And what is the time horizon that you have in mind?
Time, I don't mind waiting a long time.
And you define that by saying more than a year, more than 2 years, 3 years?
Yes, exactly. More than a year.
Okay, so you bought it based on the fundamentals. Vineet,
Yes.
view on IDFC First, and would you say that the pressure that it has had, the worst may be over and this might be a good idea? See, the context, of course, is the financial pack and the banks have not really participated at all, right? They've not fallen as much as certain other companies or counters, but they've not gained as much either.
So, two things to understand from a macro perspective on banks is that, they are fundamental to an economy. So, when economic growth is going to be coming down, then banks are also going to underperform. IDFC has got very aggressive plans for each and every one of the segment. Their path is very well carved out, and we believe that it's a good thing to have. Between IDFC Bank and Kotak, I think Kotak has also been sideways for a very long time. We see more comfort in Kotak because it's a large bank, and it's a proven banking platform. And we believe that, there is a 40% upside chance on that stock very, very comfortably. And, if things get better for the economy, you can even have a potential to double your money in that stock. So, one of our strong picks in the,
Sorry, you're talking about IDFC First?
No, I'm talking about Kotak Mahindra Bank.
Okay, Kotak, there's a 40% upside potential. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, got it. And so, point well made. So, you would suggest a switch from IDFC First to Kotak?
So, I would, that is for the client to decide. But I think, I'm more comfortable with Kotak Bank than with IDFC Bank.
Got it. All right. I'm told that Jatin has to leave us. Jatin, thanks so much for joining us and for answering the questions that you did. Pleasure as always having you on the program. Vinny, do stay with us. We'll be back after this very quick break and we'll take more of your questions, viewers, so do stay tuned.
very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
A life which is both taking care of your material needs and taking care of your altruistic needs. That will be the true definition of Viksit Bharat.
In my view, we are already out of that slowdown.
For every anlom, you have to have vilom. You can't just keep doing up and up in the breathing also. You have to come down. So the correction and healthy correction is a very, very integral part of the market.
The private capital expenditure, from where I sit, I see that private capital expenditure is happening.
Any tariff coming on Indian goods will be passed on to American consumers and Indian companies will not be affected.
We feel fairly good about the fact that we can compete with various folks.
Actually, instead of Viksit Bharat, we should call it Re-Viksit Bharat.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Very warm welcome to you all for this NDTV Profit conclave, which is themed on Viksit Bharat.
A life which is both taking care of your material needs and taking care of your altruistic needs. That will be the true definition of Viksit Bharat.
In my view, we are already out of that slowdown.
For every anlom, you have to have vilom. You can't just keep doing up and up in the breathing also. You have to come down. So the correction and healthy correction is a very, very integral part of the market.
The private capital expenditure, from where I sit, I see that private capital expenditure is happening.
Any tariff coming on Indian goods will be passed on to American consumers and Indian companies will not be affected.
We feel fairly good about the fact that we can compete with various folks.
All right, back with Ask Profit, and let's take a check of where the markets are right now. And you have the benchmark Nifty 50 that's just meandering a little bit. It's gaining about 0.2% or so, or 0.1% or so, and it's in that very narrow range for the day, very close to 22,600 on the upside. But its gains are capped at this juncture. But the broader market's looking more sanguine at this point and continuing to hold on with gains. In fact, you have BSE that we've been focusing on in the recent past. It's been under pressure because of the changes that have been announced in the derivatives segment. And this is after, of course, NSE shifted its expiry date to Monday. Earlier, remember, the regulator had proposed a few new norms, including a change in the calculation method of open interest. How is a company going to deal with these issues going forward? To talk about this, my colleague is speaking with the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the company, Mr. Sundaraman Ramamurthy. Let's cut across to that.
Hello viewers, today we are joined by the MD and CEO of the oldest bourse of Asia, the Bombay Stock Exchange. We are joined by Mr. Sundararaman Ramamurthy. Welcome sir, welcome to NDTV Profit. Thank you for speaking to us. Sir, currently we are in a phase of market correction. We are seeing that the markets are bleeding red and a bear run is continuing. But we cannot forget that currently the retail investors that we have in the country are young investors. Most of them belong to the generation that is seeing this sort of a correction for the first time. So what would be your advice for them?
Markets going up and down is a part of market behavior. So the advice to any investor is not necessarily dependent on what market phase it is at this point of time. It is an important advice forever. As I always tell, an investor, if he is a trained and an existing investor, should be very clear and conscious that he should invest what he understands and he should understand what he invests. That is the basic principle to be followed at all times. If it's a new investors, as you rightly said, a lot of youth wants to get into the capital markets, which is very good for the country because financialization of household savings is a very important requirement for the development of markets and the economy. My advice to all of them has always been, if you're a new investor, like you do with any new activity, start small, start with mutual funds, maybe with a broad-based fund where the portfolio managers already take care of risk diversification. And you have to plan long term. It's not that you will invest today and tomorrow onwards you start seeing whether you are making profit or loss. Make small amount of SIP to capture all market cycles and stay invested for a longer time, probably in a good mutual fund in a broad-based scheme. That has always been my advice to the Yuva.
That's a very good advice, sir. So moving ahead, as we all know that BSE announced its changes in expiry dates last year in November and they were implemented in January this year and they were shifted to the first half of the week, that is on Tuesday. Now very recently we have changed the other big exchange in the country, changing their expiry dates as well to the first half of the week, that is on Monday. So we also have to consider that when this was announced on Wednesday, we saw a strain on the stock price as well. So how do you feel that you are going to be combating with this? What are you thinking about strategizing around this?
See, our stand has always been like this. We do what the market participants want. We are a market infrastructure intermediary. Whatever is the voice of the customer, that's what we implement. When we implemented Friday, that was based on market voice. When we implemented Tuesday, that was based on market voice. Whatever market advises us, that's what we will do this time as well. As far as the share prices, for us, share prices are outcome. What is the main purpose for which we exist? To provide a well-governed, well-regulated marketplace with products what the market want. That's how we will look at it.
So are you planning any sort of change again in the expiry dates?
That would depend upon what the market voice is going to be to us. I'm told NSE made a change on 2 days before or something. So once we are able to understand what the market advice for us is, we will accordingly act.
So you wish to look at how things roll out and then take advice and then, take your action.
Yeah, whatever the market participants tell us as to what should be our action point, that's what we will do.
So moving ahead, the Securities and Exchange Board of India also recently floated another consultation paper that was about the calculation of open interest in the FNO segment. Now, from the notional method, there has been a suggestion to change it to a future equivalence method. Now, do you think that if implemented or if this proposal paper in general implemented could also affect the volumes at BSE?
As I said, volumes are outcomes. The most important thing is to provide products as required by the marketplace within the four walls of corporate governance and market regulation. If you recall, there are multiple open interest requirements stipulated by the regulators. One of them was stipulated during COVID times. And that was called as sentimental OI. Now that COVID has gone, we have been requesting the regulators to review it. The purpose for which it was born is now not there, and market regulations themselves should not shape market microstructure into situations which are not warranted. So the regulators are looking at it and they have come out with a paper. The paper talks about future equivalent, as you rightly observed. The regulatory process in India is a co-created process. Market is consulted, the exchanges are consulted, experts are consulted, based on whatever their advice is. And based on SEBI's internal thinking, things will come out and get rolled out. I'm sure the market regulatory role and market development role have always been going hand in hand, and SEBI will consider the views and then analyze what the repercussions are, the positives are, and accordingly a decision will be taken.
Definitely, sir. So, talking about the regulator a bit more, ever since the earnings call for BSE was done, there was a sort of back and forth between the two exchanges in the country regarding the clearing corporation charges. Now, I assume that a lot has settled down, but there were a lot of media reports about this back and forth. So, do you feel that some sort of a regulatory intervention or some sort of a regulatory pathway needs to be created to stabilize this entire ecosystem?
See, commercial interests lie with the regular organization, notwithstanding that. As of today, I understand that NSE has to clear some dues to ICCL. And ICCL has escalated it to the regulators, and also NSE has escalated. I am sure very soon it will be resolved.
But is this some sort of an issue that is, as an individual issue being escalated, or you are looking at a larger solution, for example, a regulatory solution to this?
So as I said, it is a commercial one. So typically commercial parts regulators leave it to the exchanges to resolve by themselves. Where there is no resolution, naturally it will get sort of into the regulator's attention, which has been brought to the notice of regulator by ICCL and also NSE, I was told. So regulators are also looking at it, and then a resolution will certainly follow.
So moving ahead, what are your, own plans with regards to, getting more market share, strategizing to, take BSE forward in the next 2 to 3 years?
As I always said, even in this interview with you, market share and all are outcome, right? Serving the market is what is very important. What we have taken as our goal is customer delight. Who are customers? It's both internal and external. Right from the regulators to shareholders to investors to brokers and their clients, all are our customers. Why customer delight is important today? We are talking about competition. Actually, the competition is global. If the competition is global, if more and more Indians are trading in exchanges outside India, whatever way in which it is happening with legitimate ways, we need to have garvapsi of this investors. They should trade in Indian markets. So it's not about changing expiry days and all that stuff alone and getting some market share out of it. It is about providing an ecosystem where India excels in providing customer service, and to trade in India is a customer delight. So from a BSE perspective, we have taken it as a slogan, and in Hindi we call it as Prasannit Grahak. That is the two word which makes every one of my policy to be scanned through. In that process, we are improving infrastructure in a big way. Infrastructure will tantamount to technology, people, physical infrastructure, knowledge as a base as an infrastructure, automation as an infrastructure. All these are being relooked into, and in the coming 2 years we want to make BSE as a world-class customer delight exchange. That is the path we are taking.
In moving ahead with these strategies, how big of a role is AI playing currently?
See, like every technology, when it comes, there is a sort of lot of talk about AI, and subsequently probably it dies down. But we do not want this AI part of it to go that way. Every technology has positives and negatives, as you would know. The positives part of it is what it can contribute, negative is how people can misuse. There are a lot of cases where AI has been misused. People just use AI to character assassinate budding people so that they can have their way of monopoly. So that also we have seen. So negatives, we should be cautious. We should also be understanding that my image can be put and can be told that I am soliciting you to invest in a stock. These all stuff are negatives of AI. Talking of positives of AI can be useful in multiple ways. Combining it with this large language model and all, a lot of things have evolved over a period of time. Significantly voluminous document you throw into a generative mechanism, it gives you a lot of ideas about it. It reads it, it thoroughly analyzes it, it gives you things. We feel in prospectus processing, in surveillance areas, in assessing the probable outcome of a regulatory change, studying the outcome of an already introduced regulatory change to see whether it is serving the desired objectives with which we started the regulatory change. I think AI will be tremendously useful. These are some of the use cases which I am immediately able to think about. Some of these areas, one of the areas we are in very advanced stages of implementation in our organization. Other areas we are exploring. I am sure this is going to play a vital role in the days to come.
So you believe that the technology is not going anywhere. It will stay here. As you said in the beginning that artificial intelligence could, be something that eventually becomes not so important. But you have, thinking that it is going to stay in some form. It is going
to stay. Only thing is we need to be very clearly aware of the negatives of it and we should be cautious to curb them.
So finally, any other plans regarding the BSE Star MF?
In what sense you mean?
In taking it forward and taking it to the people more.
As you may recall, when I joined, we were processing around 1 crore to 2 crore transactions per month. Today, we are processing around 6 crore transactions per month. Like in the budget speech, Finance Minister Madam talked about Gyan, Garib, Yuva, Annadata or Nari. इसमें से we are taking Yuva and Nari as the concept today being an important day for Nari. We are taking Yuva and Nari for the purpose of mutual fund investment. Wherever we get an opportunity, we are talking to the young investors, the youth, telling please come into the capital market portfolio through mutual funds, broad-based good mutual fund schemes. And that is one another thing we are doing which is showing results. Otherwise you will not have seen the growth from 1 to 3 crores as the min-max going into 6 crores as the average. That transition has happened. We are strengthening again here as well our technology base. Almost a significant completion of whatever we planned as a version 2 has happened. It's under beta testing with some of the people, which will increase functionalities, which will increase governance, which will help in reconciliation, which will help in scaling up and will bring sustainability. We are working in a very big way on mutual funds because it's very close to our heart. That is the way in which we feel the financialization of household savings should be channeled into the markets instead of other undesirable ways in which it could otherwise go and get frittered away.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
All right, the head of the BSE speaking about a range of various issues. And I think key would be that they would listen to the market voice to determine their next course of action. And well, let's pull up the stock chart and see where it is right now, BSE Limited. And this is something that, well, it's up about 0.5% or thereabouts. But let's go across to Vineet on an interesting question that we've gotten, and this is coming in from Thailand. Vineet, this is a viewer who's writing in from there. Vivek, he has bought Dixon Technologies post-COVID. He's got 400 shares which he acquired at a price of 3,328.4, and so his profit currently is about 43.4 lakh rupees, and this is despite the stock having fallen about 25% from the 52-week high. He's wondering what to do at this juncture. Should he hold on? Should he add more at this current point?
Actually, my personal view on the market is that we are going to see some more dips come in, and we expect more further fall to come through. Dixon is one of the stocks which can escape this trend. But if you would like to, buy this stock, I think he should wait for lower levels and not get into this rally at the current level to buy into.
Right, so that's the view coming in for Dixon Technologies. The next counter that we're talking about is Aarti Industries. Tara from Trichy is a long-term investor in Aarti Industries. She's holding 50 shares at 500. The stock is currently trading at 412, and she wants to know whether she should continue to hold the counter or not. I'll come to you, Vineet, on this one. What is the view like for Aarti Industries?
So, we think that the crude prices are going to remain benign over the longer period of time because the supply is only going up. And as such, we expect the raw material input cost to come down significantly. This will definitely benefit the industry going ahead. And so one can continue to hold Aarti Industries. We think it's one of the better chemical stocks to own. And, if it comes down in this bear market, which we are expecting over the next few days, you can look to add into the stock.
All right.
Okay, we've got Rajesh Bhosle, equity technical and derivative analyst at Angel One, joining us. Rajesh, thanks so much for taking the time and for waiting by. We were, of course, listening to the BSE Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer. We've got a caller coming in next, and Suresh is calling us from Hyderabad. Hi, Suresh, what would you like to know?
Yeah, hi. I wanted to know about Brigade Enterprises. Just now I am seeing that someone was asking that one in the same call.
Yes.
So can I ask different question?
Yes, you can. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Currently, I'm holding CCL products, which is at 615 price, around 200 shares, which I'm holding.
Yes.
Can I add more for next 1 year, or is it right time to add more?
Okay, got your question. Rajesh, I'll come to you on the charts for CCL products. What's slightly above the current market price? The question is for a 1 year time frame. Would you add more?
So yes, good morning. So if we see chart of CCL product on the weekly chart, we can see some base formation around the levels of 560 to 550 levels. Last year as well, during May 2024, the stock had seen rally from the levels of 550 towards the levels of 650 to 700. But current market conditions are a bit different. So from averaging point of view, I would suggest to avoid. But in near term, the stock can expect some bounce back towards the levels of 630, 650, where the trader can actually look to lighten up the position, because in the past we have seen the stock tend to see sharp volatile fall. So ideally in such kind of market condition, any bounce towards resistance towards 630, 640 can ideally be used to lighten up the long positions.
All right, so that's the view with respect to CCL products. Our next caller, Ravi from Vizag, is calling in. Ravi, a very good morning to you. How can we help you?
Good morning, ma'am. Actually, I bought PVR on INOS shares on December 5th of 1550,
Okay.
100 shares.
Okay.
So right now it got down to 900 around. So shall I average it? Shall I select?
Okay.
What shall I do?
Okay, got your point, Ravi. Rajesh, I'll come to you on this one. PVR Inox is the counter. Yesterday, Kotak had upgraded to buy with a target price of 1200. What are the charts saying according to you? What should be the target price and supports?
See, so the PVR is definitely an underperform, and it's testing the levels of around 2020, year 2020. So definitely an underperformer. But since it's already in oversold, some positive divergence, can expect some rebound or some bounce back from the current levels. But again, the same view, use bounce towards a resistance to lighten up the underperformers. The next resistance that come around is at its previous swing that is somewhere around 1150 to 1200. So I expect a bounce back, but lighten up position somewhere around the resistance level.
Okay, fine. All right. We've got Rajiv Sheth, who wants to know about Vodafone Idea. Is bought at elevated levels, 12.63. The current value, of course, is at 7.7. He's got a considerable quantity that he's bought, 10,000 shares. Vineet, should he hold on? Should he exit?
I think you should exit. These stocks don't have a business model which is showing any kind of profitable trends. Very difficult to take a call on this. I think one should just exit such kind of stock where you park your money and nothing happens for years.
Okay, and point well made. It is time now to hit the rapid fire segment. Gentlemen, what this means is that we'll throw as many questions as we can over the course of the next 2 minutes at you, and do keep your answers as quick as you possibly can. Sundaram Fasteners is the first counter that we're talking about, and long-term views being sought from Lakshmi Narayan K, who's writing in from Chennai. He's bought at levels of 740. Vineet, should he hold?
Yeah, he should continue to hold his stock. One of the very good stocks to own.
All right, Wipro is the next counter. Rajan from Bengaluru is holding 50 shares at 305. He wants an outlook for the next 6 months. Is it a good time to average, Rajesh?
Yeah, can average to it. 270 is a support and 320 to 330 is the resistance.
Okay, Rajesh, coming back to you on Jio Financial Services. Ranjan wants to know, he's writing from Bengaluru, he's bought at a price of 350. Should he accumulate more at this point?
Yes, can accumulate at very good levels. Can expect bounce back towards 280 to 300 levels.
All right, RVN is the next counter. Sudhir has bought 790 shares and he's saying he's sitting on a loss of around 95,000 odd rupees. What's the view like, Vineet?
Hold on to this stock, ride out the bear trend, and then you'll see good profits emerge over the next 2-3 years.
Okay, Tata Motors has seen quite a lot of erosion. Would you buy the current price for the short term? Rajesh, what's the view? This is Snehal's question.
Yeah, can expect a bounce back towards 750 to 760. Can add on to it.
All right, Thomas Cook is the next counter. Gautam from Mumbai has 630 shares bought at 206 a piece. He wants to know whether he should add at the current levels or sell at this point. His horizon is 12 to 18 months. Vineet, what's the view?
We are fundamentally positive on this company. Buy on declines is the best strategy that I can suggest given the downturn that we are expecting.
Okay. Hal is the name of the counter. Gul wants to know, he's bought at levels of 3,760 rupees a piece. Is it the right time to add more at the current price? Rajesh?
Yeah, we are seeing a bullish engulfing on the weekly chart on a key support. So can buy onto it. 4100 is what we are expecting in the near term.
Okay. All right. Winding down on the rapid fire as well as on the program. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking the time, for answering all the questions you did. Always a pleasure having you, and happy Friday to you. All right, that brings us to the end of this edition of Ask Profit. Thanks so much for watching. Do stay tuned. Lots more coming up over the course of the day from Mahima and myself and the team that put this show together. Thank you so much for watching.